One thing I forgot to mention is the slxdcxt is what's up guys. Today I'll be doing a review with a newly released slxdcxt. This is the left hand model, and I only got this like a day ago or so, because the left hand apparently released after the right hand, and it was quite a wait to get it. So before we get into that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because at 1000 subscribers I'll be giving away this brand new Daiwa Fuego LT 4000 spinning reel. So in the box, for those of you who are wondering, is just the reel and the paperwork. Shimano didn't include any oil. I don't know if that's something new, or they probably short on stock or something, but there was no oil. I already went ahead and spooled this reel with 20 pound Power Pro to get an idea how much line it will hold, since this is the 71 model, and it hold approximately, well, it hold exactly 90 yards of 20 pound Power Pro, and this is braided line. So out of the box, I'll also be comparing it with the slxdc, since it's the both of them is in the SLX lineup. I think it's only fair to compare the two. So before we get to the comparison, let's check out what's new with this reel. So out of the box, it's very smooth. It's way smoother than the slxdc. That's one. The paint job is way nicer. It have this expensive look to it. Another difference is the profile. It's way slimmer than the slxdc. As you can see, it's way slimmer. I have the profile of an expensive baitcaster, and I like that about it. And it's very comfortable to palm. It feels real nice in the hand. This is also comfortable, but this feels kinda bulky. This feels a little bit more bulky than the slxdcxt. They changed the drag star design on this, as you can see. And let's see with the shimming of the knobs. As you can see, there's a very slight play. Very slight. This one almost don't have any at all. But with this one here, with the slxdc, you have a bit more play in both the knobs. And what that causes, when you're reeling, it goes in and out, it feels real sloppy. So another upgrade with the slxdcxt is that it have 7+1 bearing, while the slxdc only have 4+1. So that's to some there's a major difference. I don't really care about the bearings, but this is a lot smoother than this, maybe because this is micro module gearing and this isn't. And when it comes to line capacity, the slxdc holds more line than the slxdcxt, of course. And how much line exactly? The slxdc holds approximately 20 yards more line than the slxdcxt, and that's spooled with same 20-pound Power Pro. So this one is 110 yards and this one is 90 yards. So what makes this a better reel is the DC braking system. It have the IDC5 braking system compared to the SLXDC, which has the IDC4 braking system. So the IDC5 lets you have two set of settings. One, you could select the line mode, and two, you have the external dial, which is this. So you could select whichever or how much ever braking you want to apply. So in order to select the line mode, you have to turn the dial all the way to open, and then you push this latch over, and then you're allowed to take out the side plate, which I like that feature a lot because I think that's a better lock mechanism in order for you not to sometimes lose your side plate or your side plate coming unlock by mistake or anything. I feel that's a foolproof mechanism how they design it. So this is the IDC5 here, and you get to select your line from inside of here with this little arrow at the top here. So first you have fluorocarbon, which is the F, then you have N stands for nylon and monofilament, and the P is for polyethylene, which represents braid. So whichever line you're using, you will just slide it over with your finger like that. It's at F. If you want to go to monofilament, you just slide it over to the N, and if you're using braid, you just go over to the P. So I'm using braid, so I'll leave it at the P. Another thing that the Shimano did with the SLXDCXT is that they add the MGL3 spool, which is basically a lighter spool. It allows you it will allow you to cast lighter lures. And let me get the weight on the spool with line on it so you would get an idea. So with line, the spool is 22.5 grams compared to the SLX spool. Which is 27.6 grams. No, which is 28. Yeah, the SLXDC spool is 28 grams. So the SLXDC don't allow you to select any line mode from within. Everything is select from the outside. Let me explain that. So just in case if anybody want to know why the SLXDC XT is a better choice. So the 1 on the SLXDC represents the lowest braking system. The 2 represents braided line if you're using braided line. The 3 represents fluorocarbon and monofilament, and the 4 represents if you're casting into wind. As I was saying, in terms of breaking selection, whatever line you're using, there's only the option you have to select. For example, you could only select number 2 if you're using braid, and if you want to cast into the wind, then you can choose number 4. You could play around probably with it, but on the slxdcxt you have a wider range to fine tune and select. For example, I set it to braid on the internal settings, and then let me just put this back together. After you select your line mode on the internal settings, 1 is for the least braking system, 2 is for a little more, 3 is for more, 4 is for more braking, and W is for casting in the wind. So it's basically straightforward, and it's more upgraded, more advanced than the slxdc. So if you're thinking about getting the slxdcxt, I think you should. It's a better buy over the slxdc. It's more upgraded. One thing that I noticed though, I could get the slxdc to make the DC sing just by winding, but I can't get it to make the DC sing on this reel just by winding. So overall, it's a better buy. I do like my slxdc, but I like the profile of this more. This have a more expensive look to it, and the paint job is better compared to this. I have this flat out cheap looking paint job. Well, I don't think it's painted honestly. Oh, another difference is the slxdc knob is a bit more bigger than the slxdcxt, as you could see there. So that's basically it. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, because I'll be doing an upgrade to the slxdcxt reel. It will be a game-changing upgrade in my view. So if you want, you could hit the subscribe button to get a notification when I post that video. I'm currently waiting for the part to come, and as soon as I get the part, I'll be doing the upgrade. Thank you for watching, take care, and don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. One thing I forgot to mention is the slxdcxt is lighter than the slxdc. The slxdcxt is 6.9 ounce and the slxdc is 7.6 ounce. So it's a bit lighter than the slxdcxt is a bit lighter than the slxdc.